Hey there, everybody. It's a fan with too much time, coming at you tonight with an after talk. So, I'm glad I was able to release the latest episode, but it does seem that every time I come back to this, there's more and more controversy about it. So to open up today's discussion, I just want to open up with the most prescient topic on my mind concerning the series, which is this. I have received issues and, communications that make it difficult for me to use some music and some AI art. Now, I could constrain myself to sorting through only, the free-to-use music online and, give proper credit to the artist who made it. But the free-to-use music is not always what I'm looking for, and even when I can find it, it can take me many, many hours of sorting through and listening, and the problem is that it's hard to actually just get done, because if you're a person who's ever done audio editing, you know the issue of listening to so much music that you start to lose your ear, like to what sounds good and what sounds bad and what you're looking for. And especially when you get frustrated at just wanting to move past a certain part, I just want to put music behind these words already. I just need something to fit this, and you just don't find it, and then you get impatient, and so you pick something that is less than good, and then you have to listen to it later, and it's there forever, and it's not good. And the AI music does allow me to go around that, and because of how vicious AI recognition and music recognition and music copyright is. I'm afraid that I'm almost going to have to insist that I use the AI music just because it causes me far less problems and saves me a mountain of time. And I'm not a musician, and I was never going to be a musician. And I was never going to be able to pay for people to put music here. So I hope that you as the audience can look around this piece of my AI usage, because I'm not replacing anybody who would have existed. I would only otherwise be basically stealing art from people who had made art, and best case scenario would be that I take art from people who have made art to use for free online, in which case the reason the AI art proves to be a better choice for me is because the quality is not lower, and at least not very low, and yeah, it's just instant. I tell the AI I'm looking for background music for X, Y, and Z. It pops out a few things in a few seconds, and I'm able to listen through them without losing my ear. And I get what I'm looking for, and it just helps me to expedite this. So, with the music, I'm pretty set on using the AI for most of it just because of the copyright issues. Now, I will say this. This would change if YouTube copyright didn't hit me so hard. But legitimately, there are people in certain countries that have to use VPNs to watch my stuff, because even though the music didn't get copyright struck, you can't. It didn't hide my video in the States or in most countries. It hides it in some countries, and makes it difficult for all the people who are fans of this series to actually get their fix of it. It's too, uncopacetic. And so with the music, I think I'm going to have to stick with the AI music, and it has really helped my process and helped speed up what I'm doing here by a lot. But aside from the music and the voices, do you guys, I'll say this, does it annoy you that I use AI voice filters? I know the voice filters can take out some of my inflections, but it also keeps a lot more than just the AI would if I typed in some text for it to read. And it is still me voicing it. Like, every single person you hear in the series right now, every single one, with the exception of Aurora Sigmas, whom I use a text-to-speech device to simulate her, every single person in the series, aside from her, is me. I am voicing and speaking every single line of their dialogue. And, the AI is just going over my voice with a voice changer. Is that really offensive? Do you find that to be AI slop? Is that a line? Would you... Omniversal Studios does a fantastic job with the AI voice help that he gives me. But is it something that most of you do or don't appreciate? Let me know. And I'll actually put a comment down in my comments section that will basically be like, if you don't like the AI voices, thumbs this up. If you do like the AI voices, thumbs this up. And please go into the comments section and look for those comments and give me your feedback in a way that is impactful, and I'll act on it. I really will act on it. But let me know if you are offended by the AI voices. I thought it would increase the listenability, the immersion, if at the very least for the Star Wars characters, if no one else, they had their original voices from their series. But if not, let me know. But more to the point, and more to the heart of the complaints that I'm receiving in my comments sections are questions about, or rather criticisms about the AI art itself, like the visual, physical art. Now, I used to pay for personal art of the series, but I almost became bankrupt. Like, it literally almost ruined my life to do it. And, I'm not saying that I would replace all of my big art pieces with AI art, but I will say that art is really expensive. Even the AI art requires that I maintain subscriptions to these AI services in order to get it done, and the animation even more so. Now, I'm happy to make that expense because if it increases the value and the enjoyability of the experience of my series, if you guys have more individual pictures of what's actually going on or things that are related to it, and they sometimes move and have animation and stuff, I'm willing to put in the work and put those in there. And honestly, just a lot of waiting for the AI to generate and a lot of test and trial because it makes a bunch of funky stuff and I can't use a lot of it. But it's a thing that I'm happy to do if it increases the value of the experience that you're having. But a lot of you seem to have a huge problem with it, and you call it AI slop, and you're very vocal, and I hear you. And look, I'm not here to make it bad. So, obviously I've been having issues using existing images, even some fan images, fan art. So I'm trying to steer away from using fan art, which is why I've gone into the AI art and I try to do the little AI animations to spice it up a little bit, because I realize that the AI art is generally lower quality than any actual human art. But, if it really bothers a lot of you in a really big way, I'll stop using it. But the choice is, just so you're aware, because of the issues I've had with uploading my videos, the choices are between my animated logo just being on the screen the entire time, and you basically just listen. And if you look at the screen, you'll just see the same thing, my animated logo going on and off. You've seen it a few times before in other videos. Or the AI art. The choices are the animated logo or the AI art. I don't really have the option to do other things safely, at least not as things stand. So I'll also put 2 comments down in the comments section. Thumbs this up if you would like me to keep using the AI art and animations, and thumbs this up if you would rather that I just use the animated image of my logo throughout the episodes and you just listen. And make your voices heard. Let me know. Let me know what you want. Let me know where you're at. Let me know, what you think about these issues and these things. Now, I don't use the AI art, or rather, I don't use the AI for anything that I would do myself. No writing, no automatic voiceovering. I'm not replacing anyone or replacing myself. I'm just sort of shoring up all the things I'm not good at or don't do quickly, because I am a writer first and foremost, and everything else that I do is highly secondary to the writing itself. And honestly, if I could have an actual team of people to help me that I could sustain, then I would take that over AI any day. But it's not realistic. I can't afford it. People can't be expected to work for free the way that I would, and it's my project. So ultimately, it kind of all falls on me. So if I can extend myself by using the AI to take over these kinds of things and to help me fill out where I'm not good, that's sort of my intention. That's why I would want to use it. Also, AI is here to stay. I hate to say it. It's like I'm looking at a massive amount of equestrians, and I'm one of them, frankly, because of how much AI is replacing writing, and it's in the face of the car. But the problem is that the car is faster, it doesn't complain, it doesn't die, there isn't a huge morality around it, it's far more durable, far easier to take care of. There's a huge reason why almost overnight cars and automobiles replaced horses and carriages, horse-drawn carriages. For one thing, they don't shit. It made so many things so much easier through so many vectors for so many people who wanted to do this. And it's like, yeah, bro, the vast majority of people who drive cars have no interest in becoming car mechanics, and they have no interest in ever having been horsemen or anything. And so, it's galling for actual equestrians and actual horsemen, to watch the thing that gave them purpose and made them valuable sort of dissolve under the weight of a new influence. And a lot of people are going to face that now that AI is coming out, and myself included. But not using it doesn't stop anything from happening. Not using it does not prevent it from being a thing that is there. And frankly, if all of the good people in the world stop using AI to advance themselves, and all the bad people in the world don't stop, all you will get is a world in which all the bad people have a massive advantage over all the good people. It sucks, and it's sad, and that's why, this is an example of, like, with business, why government regulating business is so important. A good business still has to do bad practices if everyone else is doing it, because it's all a competition. And if you don't compete strongly enough, you get pushed out. When I was going to the Huizinga School of Business, and I went to business ethics, it was really galling because in business ethics class, they opened up with this big poster of all these quote-unquote ethical businesses, and most of them had gone out of business. They hadn't updated the board soon enough. If you define ethics by non-competition, then your ethics will die out. I'm not saying that we should abuse or overuse AI, but to simply deny its use entirely is to cede a massive advantage to your competition. It's fine if you're not in a competition, but if you are, if you're trying to compete anywhere, if your competition has this kind of advantage over you, you're simply not going to compete. You're going to moralistically fail. And there needs to be an in-between, a middle ground, where you're not just allowing yourself to go extinct, but you're also not completely foregoing all of your morals and reasonings and rationales and the things that give your life purpose and, foundation. So I've only been using AI to help me do what I don't do. But if that is really offensive, the comments are down there. So please go down there and thumbs up the ones that you agree with, and by power of majority and by power of influential vote, I'll see where you guys are at by and large. And I'll see if this massive criticism of the AI usage is actually something that a lot of you agree with, or if it's coming from a few, a vocal minority. Which doesn't mean that I won't respect it, but obviously it won't move me in the same way, because I can't simply cater to a small population when, there's a massive amount of people enjoying the work. But in any case, with that done and spoken about, and again, pause the video here, right here, and go down into that comment section, and let me know. Tell me. Hey, if you don't feel strongly about it, tell me that you don't feel strongly about it. Don't just let it be a perception controlled entirely by the most extremes of either side. But tell me. Please tell me. It's a call to action. Take action. Let me know in the comments section with a thumbs up or a comment of your own, but just let me know. I definitely want to know. So, let me see here. The very next thing I want to talk about was an experience I had recently with a video game. Starfield. So, I recently purchased Starfield. I did it from a discount site, and I got it and the expansion pack and like all future expansions, I'm pretty sure. And I got it for like really fucking cheap. Like so cheap that the value proposition made enough sense for me to purchase Starfield despite my general disdain for low quality messes. And you know what? I'll say this. I didn't even start playing it really. I started playing it and then I started a new game, and just as soon as it let me leave, I left so that I could then download mods into it. And at the end of the day, at the end of my experience, I had downloaded like over 300 individual mods. And I will say this game seems, from my perspective, I don't know if there's things that I'm not seeing here, but from my perspective, this game seems to be the most well-optimized game for mods that I think I have ever seen. My crashes have been rare, mod conflicts non-existent. I have been, very carefully loading mods in and using mods that are supposed to be compatible with each other, but they have been compatible, and it has worked. And 300 plus mods is a lot of compatible mods working all in sync, so it's good. That's been good. And I began playing the game. 300 mods, over 300 mods to change it and to make it cooler. And there are a few things I'd like to remark on. First of all, I began having a lot of fun at first. Really, I did. I guess I'll just cut to the end here. I'm not playing Starfield anymore because it's boring. And I'm actually shocked. I'm shocked because, I knew that Starfield was lower quality. Far lower quality than Bethesda's, other prime projects that they've also been selling out and stripping bare. And I knew that going in, and my expectations were really low. And at first I actually began having fun, but things got in the way and things got boring. Really, really boring. It doesn't matter how many mods you download into it, because at the end of the day you can't fix the story and the specific things the story does, which are bad and boring and not good for... I don't know who the fuck was in charge of this, but they didn't coordinate their thoughts and ideas. It's a mess. It's just a mess. It's clearly a mess. And given how long this game was in development, there really is no excuse for it. Like, I don't know why Bethesda needed so many people to make this game when it was just another Bethesda game, but like in space. It's not that different from Fallout 4. It's just like, a lot of different textures. Better looking faces, I think? Yeah, better looking faces. And, there's the ship construction dynamic and the kind of space travel and stuff, but none of that should have taken this many years. I don't know what they were doing for all of this time. Was the procedural generation really that difficult? Because they could have spent their time better. But that aside, there are several things that hamper in a very intrinsic way, in a very deep way, Starfield's everything. Its ability to be enjoyed by me. So first of all, the role-playing is really cut down. I don't like how they... Bethesda needs to get into the head of people who want to play in these games. If I want to be a bounty hunter or anything, if I want to be a courier, if I want to be a space trucker, if I want to be a bounty hunter, I want to be an assassin or a space pirate, if I want to be a space cop, if I want to be a fucking ship engineer, I'm always going to start as this miner, basically. Like, making new characters in this game is extremely unfun. Because I have to go through this long-ass intro scene that is so worthless. I'm always going to be this miner. And it's just like... How do I say this? Okay, so like, when I start Skyrim, right, and I get out of Helgen, which, by the way, I also think that Helgen is a slog, but it's not a tenth of a slog this is. But... once I'm done with Helgen, you know what I'm saying, I leave, and the world is open, and it's not like the Greybeards, who are, I guess, like the Skyrim version of Constellation, if I were to try to allegory them together. The Greybeards don't fucking, control all of the major parts of the story, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of narratively feel, after you leave Helgen, that you can go out and explore things and only proceed with the main quest line as much as you really want to, until and it feels natural, and it doesn't feel game breaking or narrative breaking for you to just to go and be a mage or a necromancer, to go and be a barbarian or a thief, or to become. It feels like the way they set up the opening makes it so that in your head there isn't any dissonance to role-playing exactly who you want to be and only really becoming the Dragonborn when you want to be. Hey, if you like, you can be the Dragonborn, and that's the reason why you became the head of the Dark Brotherhood and are such a big deal. But also, it can be the case that you basically aren't the Dragonborn. You haven't found that out yet, haven't even killed your first dragon, leave, do all of the Dark Brotherhood quest lines, come back, And like, yeah, bro, I'm the Dragonborn, but before I was the Dragonborn, I was the deadliest assassin in all of Tamriel. And that's really cool, and and the game is made in such a way that you can be that and think that and do that without there being a dissonance in your brain. But because Constellation basically pulls you out of where you are, and because it's not even your ship, you know, like the Frontier is Constellation's ship, and you can't just get your own ship quickly and shit, it just... The role-playing narrative in your head gets really fucked up, you know? It's like, I feel like I'm part of Constellation first, and whatever I'm trying to role-play as second, in a really big and stupid way. And there's like no way for me... I think the whole binding a person to Constellation was a mistake. A serious mistake. I think the way the game starts, that's the problem. This is why 300 plus mods can't fix this game. Because... at a fundamental narrative level, the game is fucked up and broken. Like, it's bad quality, in a way that is really hard for anything to fix. Like again, the replayability of it, like when I want to start new characters. I don't want to start new characters in this game, even though I so desperately want to start new characters. And the reason is because I have to go through the entire opening, man! It's such a slog, dude! Why the fuck is the opening such a slog? Like, why do I have to wait for Lynn and Heller to walk all the way outside the habitat? Why do I have to wait for fucking Barrett to walk outside of his ship, and then him and Lynn are having a non-skippable dialogue? Oh, Lynn! Back on Vectera, and the minerals, and it's just easy like on Vindy. It's like, fuck, dude. I don't want to hear this conversation 10 billion goddamn times. I really don't. I don't. So frustrating. So unnecessary. I think, okay, well, you know what? I'll just make a generalist character, and then I'll park them right outside of the character remaker. And nope, the character remaker sucks ass and doesn't work, and you can't just skip all of that and then just have one file that you base all your other new characters from, the way that you do with Skyrim outside of the Bear Cave. Like, no, fucking no. It's so bad. Who the fuck wrote this? Who the fuck thought this would be fun to play 1,000 times? It's so dumb. But that aside, you know, even if you fix the opening and it's now not like putting nails in your asshole to start new characters to play different branches and stuff, the other problem is just there are honestly so many compounding problems. People say, oh, it's a loading screen simulator. I don't care about that. I don't care. You know what? I can accept that it's not No Man's Sky, and I will not malign it for, you know, letting me hop between planets with a loading screen and whatnot. I honestly don't care. The thing I care about is why it feels unfulfilling that that's happening. It's because when I load screen to go to one place to another, and I fly there, or I just instantly appear there, nothing interesting is happening there. You know, I wouldn't have a problem going from one place to the next if interesting things were happening, if I were having interesting fun. But there are so many parts of this role-playing game that don't fucking connect it to each other. You know, like me being a fucking hardcore, brutal space pirate killer, and Constellation still being involved with me and shit. Like, there's so many parts of this game. It's got Fallout 4 issues all over it, but like exacerbated to the 10th level. Like the Fallout 4 role-playing experience is hampered by having the talking protagonist. Here, you don't have a talking protagonist, but you have a lot of the same problems. Like, the world doesn't touch itself. If you do something over here, it doesn't affect things over there, so it doesn't feel impactful. And I'll say this, Constellation is a huge problem. Like, I am constantly cringing at them. When I first arrived, you know, I'll give you like just a few micro examples here, okay, of things that break my immersion and make the thing feel lesser and lower quality. When you first arrive at Constellation, you give them the stupid artifact, and they have a stupid long dialogue conversation thing that I usually mute and click through as quickly as possible so I can get through it as quickly as possible. You know, God, this game is supposed to be a game built for replayability. How the fuck do they fuck that up so much in so many places so often? Whatever. In any case, God, I'm sorry. It just scrambles my brain how boring and how repetitive this game can be. But I'm in there, I'm watching them react to the artifact, and the artifact begins reacting to the other artifacts, and it spins up and starts to swirl around and create this energy field, star map thing, I don't know, fucking Starforge-esque, whatever. And my character, especially the first time I was experiencing this scene, my character physically stepped back. Like, I made my character physically step back. Because, bro, what's happening? These alien artifacts are reacting with each other. They're forming a circle. There's an expulsion of energy. Like, it could be blowing up. It could be giving us all super cancer. No, man. I'm the only one who reacted anything physically, like, realistically to this. Everyone else, including the black chick who's, like, right in front of it and is, like, talking about, oh, these energies are... Like, no one steps back. No one reacts to this the way that a person would react to this. Like I feel like I'm in a clubhouse full of ridiculously LSD'd out of their brain nerds that are just not being realistic. Because, like, this woman walks up and she's like, I don't know, it all feels so contrived. Like, this woman walks up, this black woman walks up, the artifact starts going off, it basically blows up in her face, she doesn't take a single step back, she puts up her arms like, wow! And I'm like, hey, are you used to having energetic phenomenon exploding in your face like this? Okay, whatever. And then she starts talking about that energy? That is an energy that is sourced from anywhere else in the settled systems. And it's like, how do you know that? This just started happening in front of us, and you're not holding a scanner or anything. You're just visually eyeballing this new phenomenon. You have no idea what this energy is. You don't know. Obviously you don't know. Like, when I was watching Evangelion many years ago, one of the things I loved about Evangelion, that sold me on watching it despite all the trauma it has in it, is that Nerve was so professional. Like, Nerve felt like the most professional, hardcore, tight organization in existence, despite the fact that its entire leadership is a wreck. Because everyone's in uniform, everything works, you know, there are countermeasures and on countermeasures on countermeasures, everything is mechanized, everything makes sense, everything looks like it's there to defend everything else. It just feels on point. It feels tight. At no point when you're dealing with the Nerve organization, besides the teenage pilots, do you actually think that this isn't a hardcore, top-of-the-line, as professional as it gets, organization of its kind. Constellation gives me the opposite vibes of that. Like, what the fuck do you people do and how have you been doing it if this is how you operate? What, Stroud Eklund just pours money into the organization and you guys do what with it? What do you do with it? That's the other thing, is that I wish I could just say, I wish my criticism could be that Stroud Eklund pours money into the organization and you guys somehow get things done, but they don't get things done. What does Constellation do? What have they discovered? Who are they? Why do people know about them? What, you know, this is also the whole game and the whole plot of the game and the reaction that 99% of things have to the game is as shallow as a puddle of piss. It's so shallow. Nothing touches itself. Nothing is really reacting the way that it should. Nothing is deep. Everything is shallow. Everything, if you push on it a little bit, there's nothing there. There's nothing to it. I remember this moment where I'm talking to Stroud Eklund. Like, they give you a moment after you meet with Constellation's crew initially. They encourage you to go around and talk to everybody and to, you know, have a character interaction with them. Which already I was sort of put off from because they just don't seem very interesting to me. Barrett, maybe, but Barrett just tries too hard. Like Barrett is a tryhard, but the universe around him is trying harder. Like, that's the thing that sucks about that. It's like, I could probably find Barrett to be, you know, charming in his own way if it weren't for how hard the universe is trying to make me convinced that he is charming and cool and a space cowboy, or rather, you know, like some space, you know, adventurer or something. You know, like the way that Heller talks about him after the rescue. It's like, who the fuck is writing this? Who is writing this? This is cringe. And it's not even fun cringe. It's cringy cringe of the boring caliber. Like, it's not even cringy enough for me to actually cringe. It's just cringy for me to go, that's cringe. Like, that's it. It's cringe enough for me to, like, acknowledge that this has now registered on the cringe seismograph. But at the same time, it's not cringy enough to be, ooh, or even fun, or it's not even cringe humor. And it's like, and it's not even Barrett himself. It's the way that this other character is talking about Barrett. You know, I hate it when the universe decides on something, and now everyone's reaction is going to be based on this universal decision of the writer's hand. Like, every time someone compliments Barrett or talks about how he's this person, it feels like the hand of the author trying to make me suck his cock. I'm sorry to say it so fucking vulgarly, but it's just so unsubtle and so self-indulgent, so... Isn't he cool? Isn't he? Isn't he cool? Isn't he cool? Isn't Bear cool? Isn't he? Isn't he cool? He's cool. He's so cool. Isn't he cool? He's cool. This person thinks he's cool. This person's like, Barrett's so cool. And this person, oh my gosh, I hate Barrett because he's so cool. He's so cool. Bro, fucking stop. Who is doing this? Bethesda, fire this person. Fire this person. This is bad writing, man. Fuck. Reflecting on it hurts. Reflecting on it hurts. I didn't even come here to have this much passion about how much I dislike Starfield. It's just that they do so many basic things wrong. Constantly, man. And it's boring, and it's dragging everything down. The Constellation missions are boring. Scripted missions are boring. What happened to me being able to approach a mission in various different ways? Here, the various different ways I have to approach the mission is like, okay, do I kill everyone with, like the weapon I kill everyone with, which honestly doesn't make a huge difference to me. They're mostly guns, and the melee weapons suck ass, so it's not good options, but it's like, there's like no real viable non-lethal option. The talking dynamics suck and are badly implemented because, it's hard on a controller or on a PC to make them work. Because they use the scanner, and the scanner mode takes you out of combat mode. It's stupid. Who decided that? Who decided that? And they don't work reliably, which means that there really isn't any way to do a pacifist run. I mean, sure, you can try to run a pacifist run as a person who lets everybody else kill people for you, though only after Vectera. It's not good for role-playing. This is not good for role-playing, guys. Like... This game is like an role-playing game, and I don't like it. Like, it sucks. So, everything is shallow. Everything is fucking shallow. Everything's a little joke or a side reference, but nothing is actually deep. With a handful of exceptions. Now, let me tell you a part of the game that I actually enjoyed, though I enjoy it less and less as I have to keep replaying it, because there are only so many ways to approach it. It's like, do you use stealth? Yes or no? Do you use gun? Yes or no? But it's not like we're in fucking Fallout where, ammunition can be extremely rare and I'm rationing ammo and moving between guns according to what I have and trying to ration encounters. There's nothing like that. There's no dynamic like that. So, I have plenty of bullets, for whatever gun I want, and the guns are guns. They're not really super interesting. What are the most interesting guns? Let me think here. It's like, they're space guns. They're just... God, is NASA punk just short-term for the lamest, most generic, most uninspired kind of science fiction? Like, is that what it's become? Because they're just guns, man, and they're not even fun. Let me think here. What's a fun gun? What's a fun gun? Stop, there has to be one. Shut up, just let me think. What's a fun gun in this game? There has to be one. There has to be one. Hold on. There's some cool looking guns. I guess the Nova Tech guns kind of look different and have energy blasts. Fuck, dude. This game is not fun, man. What the fuck? Okay, so... Alright, so... There aren't multiple ways to approach things. There's no creativity in most of the things that you do. There are some times when you get the ability to talk to people and talk them down, like the one time at the bank, but most of the time you're going to be a massive space nerd, like in a big way. That's more acceptable in Skyrim, especially because most of the things that you're killing aren't people. Yeah, sure, there are bandits and stuff, but if you're trying to play a good aligned person, then most of the time you're fighting in self-defense, or you're fighting monsters or Draugr or whatever, and it just doesn't make you feel like you're a butcher. But in Starfield, most of the enemies are humans, and most of them cannot be talked down. And you just rapidly begin to feel like a space destroyer, man. Like a guy who just murders hordes and hordes of people. Like a guy who's killed way more people than most people whose job is to kill will ever kill in their entire lives. And again, it's just not super conducive. You know, the setting is supposed to be a sort of hopeful, futuristic setting. You would think they would put more thought into how problem solving would go about in that kind of setting. We're not in Fallout. I'm not being forced to do these kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, yeah, bro, if I wanted to, I could just make some money doing some of these things, and then my character would retire because they don't want to have to murder armies of human beings. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, I'm harping a bit on this because I really like to do pacifist runs when they're possible and optional, and I feel like this setting is one where it's very possible and optional, but no, it's not. It's very distinctly not. Even though there is like one non-lethal weapon in the game and several non-lethal weapon mods, you don't get experience for non-lethaling people. It makes it a totally inviable gameplay. Like, God, it's so stupid. They fucked this up in so many places, in so many ways. Oh, my goodness, man. I wish, you know... There are so many ways around so many of the problems here. Like, for example, humanity is so tiny. Our capital cities are pathetically small. You know what I mean? And it makes it feel almost like we're an endangered species, except for that we're everywhere because of how many spacers there are. Like, I don't know, man. There are just so many things that don't make any real good or immediate sense in this universe. Like, why is New Atlantis so small? You know, couldn't you have made it a sort of boxed-in area with the illusion that it's a much larger city spreading out all around us? And yeah, we can't go to those places because you're not going to actually make us a real city like Night City or anything like that. Which I understand, not every place can be Night City. But, you know, since you're not going to do that, could you at least put in the effort of faking it? You know, I had to get mods to fake it. And when the mods faked it, it actually felt pretty good. But without the mods there to fake the size of New Atlantis feels like an outpost, a very nice, luxury, eco-friendly outpost. But, like, that's the capital of mankind. This is our largest city, and everyone's walking around like that's normal, like we're not in some sort of serious depopulation crisis. You know, I don't understand this world. I don't know where most people in this world live. I don't understand where all the spacers are coming from and why the Red Fleet is larger than the population of all these planets. I don't get why people choose to settle in certain places when it's so hard and it's not hard to get anywhere else. I don't understand these things, you know? Everything feels too small. It's like a theme park video game where, you know, you're just kind of visiting the light concepts of each of these things, but you're not actually playing through them in a deep or compelling way. And I expect more from Bethesda. I expect more from the big guys in the industry, the dominators, the AAAs, you know? And I didn't pay full price or anything close to it for this game, and I thought that the value proposition would be very good. And I downloaded so many mods that the game is almost unrecognizable visually at certain points. But, dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. God, it doesn't matter. You know, it's not a real role-playing game because there are only so many actual roles you can play, and everything has been dumbed down, made simple, reduced, and unconsequential to the point that I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I can't really get behind this game anymore and keep playing it. It's so boring. And the characters I'm playing in my head, my little in-game player story narrative, it keeps breaking because of the things that this game makes me do or has me participate in or forces me to go around. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just don't... I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, it doesn't feel like we just came out of a massive intercolony war that was the worst war mankind ever had. It doesn't feel like mechs ever really existed in this universe. It doesn't feel like the aliens are very compelling. I've heard about the Terramorphs. I've actually literally never run into a Terramorph. I've just heard a whole lot about them from side comments and stuff and other people talking about the game. But, you know, I'm not compelled by the Terramorphs. I don't know anything about them, and I've not encountered them, and they don't strike me as an alien threat that I'm actually really afraid of in any way or that compels me. I don't know anything about them, really. And I've played a lot of this game, man. I've played around and done things and built outposts, and oh man, it's so boring. It's so boring. I'm trying so hard to squeeze my money's worth out of this game for entertainment, and it's so boring. the most interesting things that have happened are side content and like DLCs, not DLCs. What do you call it? What do you call it? Mod content. Jesus Christ, bro. And I don't know what they were thinking with this game. I really don't. I don't understand it. I can't really get behind it because it's, you know, people put it on a whole bunch of other things. Oh, it's loading screens and it's this. No, it's none of that, guys. The problem is at a very fundamental, basic level, this game is very uncompelling and very boring. And it comes from a lot of things, including how it's framed. Like, this game should have just been about you being an explorer for Constellation who kills a lot of people, because that's what it is. They should have just framed it up that way. They should never have framed it up as a role-playing game, because it is not conducive to role-playing, like anything but that. And on top of that, the leveling system is horrific. What was Bethesda thinking when they made this? I don't understand it. Like, the leveling system is anti-role-playing. You know, it's like I have to. All right, so let me get this straight. I want to roleplay as a ship engineer. Okay, there's no way to do that. Like, I can't roleplay that. I'm not allowed to level into those things. And then trying to level them up requires that I go do a bunch of other things that aren't related to it. So, in other words, I'm being forced to play the game the way that the character I'm trying to roleplay wouldn't roleplay because of the leveling requirements. Because, yeah, I can't even touch, you know, starship designs until I've gotten enough of these on this row, even if they have nothing to do with what I want. And on top of that, to get those and level those up, I have to, like, complete these little things like, okay, kill this many ships in space, do this many boosts in space. That's not a huge problem, but then it's like trying to level up, you know, things that cost you money, trying to level up things that, I don't know, there's just a lot of things here that don't feel copacetic. I want to play an assassin. Okay, well, why is the good stealth skill that would actually make stealth viable in a melee build, which is what I'm trying to go for as a ninja assassin, why the fuck is it all the way, why is it like a bottom tier skill at the very bottom of the level up thing where I have to play the game for many hours, like many hours before I'm able to access the skills that enable me to roleplay what I want to roleplay. Like, I have a question. In Skyrim, how long until you can cast a fireball? Immediately, right? Like, you can start being a mage, a fire mage, an ice mage, or a necromancer almost immediately, if not immediately upon starting the game. You can't do that with this game, with Starfield. Like, 90% of the things that you want to start off doing, you can't start off doing them. And you can't pursue them easily. It forces you to play a game where you're playing as a character that you're not role-playing as, so that you can finally get to the part of the game that lets you roleplay the character that you're role-playing as. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's really dumb. And it has no place in a Bethesda role-playing game that's supposed to be freeform, that's supposed to enable you to play how you want and to have freedom. But this game doesn't do that. You know, you can only enter levels from one direction, you can only attack things from one way, and I just felt like we would have this big upgrade when it came to Starfield because of the setting, because of the time and the technology that went into it. But no, man. Starfield is extremely uninspired and very uninspiring. And even after this many mods, I'm bored of it. I'm legitimately bored of it. And I'm not even upset with it until I'm bored, and then the boredness makes me upset. I want to enjoy it so much. The game is a quarter inch away from being something great. But the problem is the quarter inch that separates it from greatness and mediocrity is really hard to fix, because it's like the whole story, you know? It's the whole execution of this. I don't think there's any saving Starfield. I'm not sure there's any saving this game. Like, it's one thing to have a game that is glitchy or has a janky leveling system, or, you know, like that. But that's not this. Because you can fix those things. You can patch those things. You can't patch the way the game starts. You can't patch the way that your character canonically receives what they get or is out there for. You can't patch the non-connectivity between all the different parts of the game and how they don't touch each other. Bethesda hasn't just not been getting better and have failed to progress. They have been getting worse. And frankly, I think that like their resources are squandered on it. It is a shame that they have so much because it means others can't have it. It's a shame that so many of these AAA, including Bethesda, have so much power and so much share and so much talent. Because while it's with them, it basically doesn't exist. No one gets to benefit from it. It's just there to sell you the illusion of what you want so that you'll give them more money to keep selling you more and thinner illusions. There's no standard. There's no progress. And Oblivion and Skyrim, I played Oblivion for months and months, and I stopped playing it because there was a game-breaking glitch that broke one of my far-progressed characters, and it kind of turned me off. But I can come back to it and have fun, and make a new character and have fun, and it won't be even painful. Starfield is so boring, it's painful. That's after 300 mods. Starfield is so boring, it's painful. And I have no idea how the fuck they reached this low. I don't know how Bethesda got here. The story is bad, the setting is bad, the gameplay is uninspired. And I frankly, after seeing this, I have no hope for the Elder Scrolls 6. And I have no hope for the next Fallout game. And frankly, I noticed that their stories and stuff were getting worse when Skyrim came out. Like, when Skyrim came out, I was like, yeah, okay, well, I like all of the new quality of life things they've done and how greatly moddable this game is, and a few of these quests are fun, but there's not a lot of characters in Skyrim that I enjoy or like or even remember. There are a few that I really don't like Delphine and Esbern. Parthenax is my bro, and why the fuck did they make it like that? I don't know, man. Shit doesn't make sense. Bethesda needs to get fixed, or just we need to stop supporting it, because you know, why, how, like, let's just think about this one thing in Skyrim, because like, this is like the tiny tumor that has now consumed the entire body, okay? Back in Skyrim, the signs of it were they force you to kill Parthenax thing, because it makes no sense in universe. Yes, the Blades would be like, yeah, we're hardcore dragon slayers, and dragons are evil, and we want to kill the dragons. Now, first of all, Alduin has not done almost anything to these people, okay? He really hasn't. Like these Blades, I get that they come from a tradition of dragon slayers, but they themselves are not dragon slayers, and they themselves shouldn't even be so compelled to slay dragons. Like, Delphine is all over this Alduin thing from the beginning, but no one who wrote her ever thought why, because, frankly, Delphine should be caught up in her shadow war with the Thalmor. That's what Delphine should be doing. This idea that Delphine is so involved and so committed to killing dragons, even though they have never harmed her, haven't killed her family, haven't influenced her. It's just a duty thing from, like, her job. You know, it's already thin. It's like, okay, I guess you don't care very much that your organization is like the Jedi Order after Order 66, and that you guys barely exist, and that the Sith still control the galaxy and are going around and hunting you. You're really about this dragon slaying. Okay. But then to say that both her and Esbern are so about the dragon slaying that they would demand of the Dragonborn, who they are supposed to be, like, beholden to, demand that he kill a draconic ally who has been nothing but helpful, and who has lived in the world all this time, who didn't have to be brought back by Alduin. I mean, it's, like, ridiculously crazy. It's like, okay, he's, like, thousands of years old, and for thousands of years he's been benign and a source of wisdom. Yes, he was once a horrible, tyrannical dragon. In fact, all dragons, more or less, are horrible and tyrannical when they start. He overcame his evil, and is trying to teach other people how to overcome their own evils. And you're going to demand of me, you're going to demand of me that I kill him. Okay, well, I won't do it. And then they're like, oh, well, if you won't do it, then we won't help you stop Alduin, and we won't help you get to Sky Ruler Temple. And it's like, okay, but you realize that if you don't help me stop Alduin, the dragons will kill everyone, and the world will be destroyed, right? You understand that, right? Fucking crazy, stupid. Who the fuck wrote that? Who wrote that? They should be ashamed of themselves. It's such bad writing. It doesn't take into account the world, the characters themselves. It's just a thing that is happening. Whoa, now you have to kill Parthenax. Ooh, we're so edgy. Fuck you. Low quality trash. That was That was like one of the first tumors, the first signs of it. That grew in Fallout 4. But here's the thing. We forgave them for a bunch of reasons, okay? Because while the narrative was dog shit and this dog shit was always there, clogging up... Like, Oblivion is so good compared to Skyrim when it comes to the actual story. Oblivion's story is so much better. I mean, it's very clear how Mehrunes Dagon is going to destroy the world, whereas it's not even clear what the fuck Alduin the World Eater is going to do. Like, what, eat the world? Like, what, literally? No, he's going to eat a bunch of people's souls. Okay, is he eating all the souls? No, he just catches a few. Okay, you know, this is a bad thing. Sure, it's a bad, but this is not world-ending. You know, I don't see when the world's going to end from this. Like, are the dragons all going to... No, they're going to be around even if he dies, and they'll be chill. Oh, okay. Cool. Right. Fine. What the fuck, dude? Where's the end? Where's the world-ending threat? And listen, a story doesn't need to have a world-ending threat to have cool stakes and to have a cool story. But when they keep telling me that he is a world-ending threat, and I can't even visualize how the fuck it is that he ends the world, he's way too small to eat it. Well, what's happening? I mean, what am I fighting against here exactly? Also, Alduin's my bro. He saved my life in Helgen for no fucking reason. God, the contrivances are so dumb. Why did he attack Helgen? They could have made a good reason. You know what would have been really fucking crazy? It would have been a badass reason for Alduin to attack Helgen. Imagine this, because you're already the Dragonborn. Nothing makes you the Dragonborn. From the moment you enter fucking Skyrim and get captured and put on that wagon, you are already and have been your entire life born to be the Dragonborn. So, you arrive there. They're kneeling you down, they're about to chop off your head, and then instinctually, some gut part of you suddenly says your first draconic word, your first shout, which you don't shout it, you whisper it. Alduin. You call him. Because remember, when dragons or dragon-souled people say each other's names, they can feel it. They can be summoned. Imagine if you summoned Alduin. And the reason that Alduin came and destroyed Helgen was because Alduin knew that the Dragonborn is in here somewhere, and I need to murder him. Dude, that would have been so compelling. And that would have given you something to talk to about with Alduin and stuff. But no, bro. Everything has to be as shallow as a puddle of piss. Oblivion was like the last time we got a really well thought through story from Bethesda. And then ever since then, it has been just degrading levels of dog shit. However, we forgave them. And the reason is because while the story was degrading and the lore was degrading, what wasn't degrading was the gameplay. What wasn't degrading was the functionality. What wasn't degrading was the fun. Okay? The fun. The fun was still there. We were getting better. Every new game still felt like an incremental increase. Sure, we took a step back in a place or two. You know, the voice protagonist thing was a huge mistake. But not a massive mistake compared to the increases in graphic quality, the different animations, the general cinematicness of it all, the new guns, the new weapons in general. The quests were still really fun in Fallout 4, aside from like the stupid mainline quests. Whoever is writing the mainline quests for Bethesda should be fired immediately. They're uninspiring, they're boring, they're trite. This person doesn't want their job, and it should be given to somebody better. But there were still these incremental increases in quality and in the gameplay and stuff that made us like it. We have now reached the point where that has plateaued. The gameplay is not getting better. The graphics are only marginally better. And nothing else is happening. Like, the story is still getting worse. The universes and the tales are still getting worse. And I know that it's the main writer of Bethesda, and I'll tell you why. Because there are sparks of brilliance. There are sparks of brilliance in Skyrim. There are sparks of brilliance in Fallout 4. There are sparks of brilliance in Starfield. One of them was this. You come across it's the Ground and Pound mission, and almost anyone who's played Starfield, I'm sure you've come across it. But basically, there's the Altair system. There was a research group there from the New Star Alliance, the Free Star Alliance, rather. And the Free Star Alliance is one of the two major human factions of the game. They were just at war, major war with the UC, the other one, the United Colonies. So they're getting fucked up by bandits, basically, by space bandits. They have this research facility. It's a civilian research facility. They're just chilling out. They have a very small security detail. And suddenly these bandits fly into the system. They want to take over the entire Altair system. And they start fucking murdering them, destroying them. And they begin to radio out a distress signal, desperately calling for any help. And what happens? This group of UC Marines led by this war hero decides they can't just listen to this anymore, and they fly in and they save their lives. And they save their lives because they became soldiers to protect the people, to protect civilians. They have a code of honor. And even though these guys are from the these guys are from the Free Star Alliance, they are just people. And these bandits are bad for everyone. And because of this morality, because of this general hopefulness, these Marines come in and almost every single one of them dies just to slow the bandits down. And of course you show up and you become a big hero and kill all the bandits and learn the story. But at the end of the story, you know, as the Marine commander and the officer that was in charge of this research outpost are parting ways, because they could be in a future war with each other, and they may end up shooting at each other. They have this banter, and it makes you think, damn, you know, if this is like Earth before Starfleet from Star Trek, these are the people who would found Starfleet. You know, this is the spirit. This is the human spirit of cooperation and of survival against evil. And you know, this is the spirit that could create. And then I realized that's what Constellation is supposed to be. Constellation is supposed to be this. Constellation is supposed to be the one that makes you think that they're the Starfleet precursor, the great explorers, the good heroes, the moralists across the stars. But no, they don't come off that way. How could they fuck up from the ground up so badly all of their core concepts? And you see these little sparks of brilliance and these like nice little interesting side quests that tell you that these sub-writers and secondary writers are all really good and really eager. But the guy who is in charge of it, whoever the fuck he is, the guy who leads this, he needs to be out. He is bad, man. These are uninspiring. Bro, these stories are boring. I am being bored by a video game. And like, I wanted to say, bro, because I bought this game for less than half its value for all the DLC and the future DLC, that the value proposition was going to work. And that's what I thought when I bought it. It does not! I am bored! I'm not getting my fucking money out of this game! And it freaks me out, fucks me up, that Bethesda could make such a pile of trash. How many Veil Guards do we have to suffer through? And listen, contrary to what a lot of people think, it's not just wokeness, okay? Wokeness just gets paired with low quality. But I assure you, something can be unwoke and really low quality. And that's honestly what's been happening here. The reason that wokeness is getting branded with low quality so badly is because of the scapegoat it creates. Whenever a woke thing is bad, and you call it out for being low quality, they're like, oh, you're racist, oh, you're a sexist, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. And it sucks because that's how they deflect your criticism. How has Bethesda been deflecting criticism from Starfield? Like, oh, we're really proud of it, you know. We understand the gaming community has mixed opinions, but we're really proud of it. Oh, okay, good. You're arrogant. You're not calling us racist at least. You're just saying, oh, you guys say stuff and we don't not care, but you're wrong. I mean, maybe not empirically wrong, but we think you're wrong, you know, because we really like it. We think we did a good job. We think this is a good game. There's nothing wrong with the game. There's nothing wrong with you, you know. And I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Like, this low-quality trend among the Titans. They don't deserve their position. They don't deserve their mounds and mounds of money. So why do they have it? Because we don't have a standard. You know? Because, in general, us as a gaming mass, a consumer mass, we eat up slop. We eat it up. We don't enforce a fucking standard. We make these games profitable. Like, you know, people will sit there and lambast how low Starfield's player numbers are. And yeah, sure, they are low. They're very low, like 5,000 people now. Nothing compared to even Skyrim today. But guess what? That game made its money back in spades. Like, that game was a successful game if you ask a person who's, you know, looking at the business side of this. The game was bad. The game does not provide entertainment the way that it should. It does not fulfill its marketed value. It does not fulfill its marketed purpose. It's a broken promise in so many ways. But it was profitable. It is a good thing for the company that this game was released. We rewarded them. We pre-ordered it. We didn't have a standard. And we didn't enforce a standard if we did have it. And because of that, here we fucking are. Welcome to the future. Oh my goodness. This is why I really support CD Projekt Red. And people are like, oh my god, Cyberpunk is so bad. And I'm like, I really enjoy Cyberpunk. Even when it was a glitchy, fucked up mess, I still enjoyed the hell out of it. Because, bro, underneath all of it, you could see the perfect skeleton. It's like, yeah, all the stuff that's fucked up about it can be fixed. All of it. It's so obvious if you play it with an open mind. You can see this is an incredible game. And even modders, given enough time, could fix this to become the best game. But when you play Starfield, it's the opposite. There's so much potential there, but its skeletal structure is so maligned, so twisted, that you would have to do major rewrites and redraft of the whole concept, like at least when insofar as the story is concerned, to actually begin to fix it. And you just can't do that. You just can't do it. And yeah, man, this has been my Starfield rant, which I never expected to have. I did not understand, because the game has so many things about it that could and should be entertaining. The game has so much in it that should work, but it has been jammed together so badly and with such a bad narrative plot premise that it doesn't work, despite everything that's put into it. It's the opposite of what Todd Howard said. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And it's pretty incredible. You know, I'm used to lackluster games, but I'll say this. I think I would have more fun playing Star Wars Outlaws. I think I would have more fun playing Assassin's Creed, the new one, the Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think I would have more fun playing almost anything else, even the things. I think Veilguard is more fun than this game. I'm not even joking. It is. Veilguard's gameplay is legitimately more fun than this game. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't think that this. I don't know. See, the thing is that at least Veilguard's story can be so bad in places that it's functionally entertaining. You know what I mean? This is like hitting that sweet spot of bad, where it's just functionally unentertaining. It's incredible. I don't know how they fucked it up this bad. My mind boggles. It boggles. But yeah, don't buy Starfield. Criticize the shit out of Bethesda. Be extremely, extremely suspicious of their next releases. Do not pre-order them. You gotta wait for something. They gotta show us something. They gotta give us something, because Starfield is so bad. 300 plus mods couldn't fix it. I've been playing it for about a week, a little bit more than a week, and I can't play it anymore because it's just too boring. And its replayability is just too low. And that's an incredible thing for me to say. At least I thought it would have been an incredible thing for me to say about a Bethesda game. But I think, judging from the pattern and the trend we've been seeing, this is the new Bethesda. This is what we should expect. But just because we should expect it doesn't mean we have to tolerate it. Don't pre-order them. Put pressure on them. And if they release a subpar product, only buy it on discount or don't buy it at all. They don't deserve what they have, so don't keep giving it to them. And with that, I think we will end today's rant. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to my rant. Please don't forget to go down into the comments section and let me know your opinions concerning the AI usage on my channel. And with that, I'll see you next time, fans.